see this shit. No pressure. Damn. Ooh. Like you said, your fans are so specific. It's in I've asked for like questions from other people for other like artists and groups. Basic questions sometimes, no disrespect. but like
I'm very proud. I'm very prideful of my fans. I really am, because I feel like we're a different breed.
No, definitely.
We're a different breed.
I you know what? It's respectable, to be honest. Like someone asked, her name, username Chick Geek Slay Queen.
Yeah, I love that name.
Favorite song he has written.
That's a very good question.
That's like choosing a baby.
Damn.
On the album.
On this album.
Yes. Or even the past.
I think
that's been released.
Yeah. I think
just do releases.
I think the one that I really could I say like moments?
Yeah.
So for me, I guess No Silhouette was one that I was that moment for me was like really enticing when I made that. So that certain parts, it just clicks for me with those songs. Obviously with this album, Seraph was just I was like in that state, it couldn't have come out any other way. Like it literally felt like I was burning my wings. So that's why that song was actually something that really hit heights with me.
Okay.
And then the moment in Winterfall where the end where it just drops and it goes misunderstood, the last part. I guess all these moments is when I dip. That's why it changes. Yeah. Because I'll be making that song in the beginning like, walking in the path.
But that's interesting, because I even said when you first showed me, I was like, I can't predict some things. Sometimes you can predict. I could predict. I've been listening to enough. I'm not a music genius or anything, but after listening, after a while,
you're good.
I can predict like, oh, this is supposed to happen.
Oh yeah.
Or that's supposed to happen.
Yeah, you're very intuitive too.
But yeah, even I sometimes I predict about, I was like, oh, that's a different change. So, like slight changes. Depending on your mood.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happens, and I can't help it. Like I really can't help when that happens. It just flips, and so I can't just dog this song. I have to I have to continue it. But now I'm continuing it in like a different brain. So think of it like as if like one person was working on the song, that person had to go away, and a different person had to continue making the song in his interpretation.
Interesting.
And that's exactly what it is. But it all stems from just how I feel. Yeah. Authentic. Of course. Really, yeah.
Wait, what was your favorite song that you read? What was
so No Silhouette.
No Silhouette, yeah.
And then moments in Seraph, and then, I'm like Winterfall and Misunderstood. I like all of them, but I mean, just those moments really just kind of hit me.
Because to me, like, it depends on, like, written is like, there's, the lyrics affect you. Or that sometimes in written, like, I mean, some lyrics will affect, but, like, it's just that beat that with that lyric will make it enhance it.
Some are for the punigi. Yeah. Some for the,
what is this?
Some sorry, you answered like just like that. It's like, some are for, like, the punigi. Some is, which is the atmosphere, the mood of it. Okay. And some are for like the lyrics. For example, Nerves was something that I probably would never be able to write again lyrically, just because it was so like the shit that I was going through at that time was just so heavy. Right. I'm not saying it's like specifically that period of time that it happened, but I like to bring back certain memories. For me, it's as fresh as it was yesterday. Because I like, how when people have photographic memories, for me, it's like I have emotional graphic memories where I could just bring that back, feel it again.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like a lot of people can relate with that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I guess, you know, and the harder it hits, the easier it is for you to kind of bring it back. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Musical influences. I'm pretty sure people ask you that so many times, but
no, actually, you're surprisingly not.
Because, for example, Sierra830 said, for example, I know he was into metal at one point.
Very good point. Metal, hardcore metal, rock in general, screamer. For me, it wasn't just a phase. It was like it was literally
my phase.
It wasn't. It was like my life.
Trust me.
Oh man, like going to those youth centers.
Weren't you part of a screamo band?
I was.
I think you told me when I first met you, or second time I met you. I'm like,
yeah.
I would never really. I was like, really?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't really. Weren't that big. We just.
Yeah, but that's a start.
A huge start. But you know, we perform. I mean, obviously we performed a lot at youth centers, and that was like my life. And it was just discovering new bands, going to bands, like going to opening up for big bands.
Right.
And, it's like this whole era of that would just have a huge impact on my life. I went from like alternative, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and
yes, great.
You know, like all of that, and then it slowly started getting a little bit heavy. You know, because at that time, obviously you had like those punk pop bands like you know, Sum 41, but then you went to like emo, which is like The Used, or you know, Funeral for a Friend. You know, My Chemical,
yep.
which you know, at that time they started getting mainstream, but then you started getting heavier, and then for me it was like you know, getting out of that pop punk era, which was like Senses Failed and all that, and Atreyu and
Atreyu, wow,
Atreyu, and there was a lot like Aiden, and then I don't know. The thing about rock is the more you get comfortable with it, the more heavier you allow yourself to go into, because it's so raw. Like if you've ever been to like a concert, like a metal concert or a rock concert, it's just a different energy. Like it's just you just completely succumb by it.
Yeah.
It's something that will never leave you.
That's true.
You know, going to the mosh pits.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. Like, we went to a mosh pit.
Oh yeah, like Stick to Your Guns, by the way. Shout out to them. I've been like a huge Stick to Your Guns fan. Ever since I was a kid. But man, to get to meet like them in person and them invite me to like their show, it was just like I was just mind blown. And so yeah, like that, Job for a Cowboy, and they just kind of got heavier. Parkway Drive was obviously like they're huge now, but they were like our local opener. Sorry, I'm going down this whole.
No, it's good. Don't worry.
But yeah, that was like a huge influence. That led to jazz because I was really into drums.
Okay.
So then when jazz got really experimental, like you had, just like they had NU metal, they had like NU jazz, NU metal, like obviously, like Linkin Park was one of the biggest things then. But then and then you had New Jobbies and you know all that experimental stuff. Cassiopeia was an amazing Japanese jazz band. So I got into like this really experimental shit, and then it subsided as I got. The thing about me though, ever since I was a kid, I was influenced by music. Right. Like my first CD, Daft Punk.
Daft Punk.
Yeah, that was the first ever CD that I've ever listened to.
Okay, listen to it.
It was Discovery, the album Discovery.
Beautiful album.
Yeah, that's when it first came out. And I remember, prior to that, I had no knowledge of music, and my dad gave it to me. Popped the first song on. One more, dun, 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 and I was like, what is this? And he was just like, one more time, and it's just like, it just kept saying that, and I was like,
but it's still,
what is this? Like, what the fuck? Why does it feel so good?
It feels good.
Yeah, and I just replay. I didn't even get to the second track, and then I just kept fucking playing that one, and my grandparents were just going so crazy. They're like, come on, you should get, like, come on. Because it's just like one more, like throughout the whole house, it's just like one more time, you know. And then eventually, I went to the second song, and then the third, and then you know, obviously, harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
That like, I mean, I know like that's like, everyone knows that now, but back then, man, talking about like what 20 years ago or something.
Right.
Damn, I'm old.
That's okay.
So yeah, like that was like when I heard the robotic voices for the first time, I was like, what the fuck is this? and they were repeating it again. I was like, what the hell? Like,
and then they would switch it up.
Yeah. So.
But same repeat, but like layers.
Yeah, layers. So do you find? So now saying that, like even Something About Us, all of Daft Punk songs are known to have progression through layers, right?
Right.
And they add on, you know. Even like nowadays, like the songs that you have, like Lose Yourself to Dance, like with Pharrell, it's progression with layers and layers and layers. And then, so if you listen to my song,
right,
you see similarities.
There is progression, yeah.
Progression.
That's why I appreciate it, because I don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't hear that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, even
huge.
Around the world, Daft Punk, it's it's repetitive, but it's like it progresses.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why it makes you it feels good. It makes you happy enough.
And you wait for that. Yeah. You wait for that moment, right?
That's why they stand out from every other.
Exactly.
And that's why so many producers respect them.
Right. And it was like a whole different beast in that era.
Yeah.
You know, Moby, like he did some of that. I was heavy into DFAS. A lot of Jamiroquai, obviously. That funk shit was just like
it's interesting. I think I didn't go into like scream kind of a little bit like similar pathways of like how I got into music, but my first I think CD I really listened to was Outkast. Like because Outkast was different enough.
Yes, it was.
Because Andre 3000,
exactly.
You know, that made it like interesting.
Yeah, they were pioneers.
Like B.O.B, like how the beat is, the way it is. You don't hear that crazy. Or even like they would like switch up into like some smooth jazz and back to like super high hat, beautiful.
Bro, actually, now that you mentioned a lot of that era, like even NERD.
You know, amazing.
Yeah, like even JT's album, which Pharrell helped him work with. You know, the Crimea River.
Yeah.
Like that whole like album too. Like if you listen to that, it's like it has so much influence, like of all these different genres. It's so sub-genre that it just made it a lot more like musicality wise, just session wise. It was just it was so more refreshing. Obviously nowadays it's not really considered. I don't know if it's going back to that, but I guess our era during that time was.
I don't specifically think it's gonna go back to that, but it's gonna go back to that in a shorter form.
Oh yeah,
I can see it already.
More simpler version.
But it's enough nostalgia to be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because it worked.
Yeah,
you know, like it was something that people really liked, and as I guess as time went on, like things had to change.
Of course,
which
hopefully
is not a problem.
I just wanted to like. Who's gonna revolutionize like the music, like to push it to a different level?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I was like, you can't try.
Oh my god, I wish. Live's I Cool album was shot all on that. On a Sony.
What type?
What was it? Sony A what? Taiwanese.
Oh, you mean FX3?
FX3, yeah.
Yeah, people say that for video that's like the go-to
really
for
crisp.
Sony.
Yeah.
They said the 4 is not as good as the 3.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean that one was good though.
Yeah.
The one we used.
Speaking about we were talking about influences, but speaking about visually, who are your visual inspirations? I don't know that.
That's a good question.
That's Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, actually, no, he's dope. Yeah. No. That's I mean, I get the concept, but
but he's one of the pioneers. You know,
absolutely. Oh yeah. The thing is, I respect a lot of the pioneers. For me,
but
obviously, I think. But for me, like, if I had to really think about it, what really made like an impact? All the films that really made an impact. It's a lot of Steven Spielberg's films, Tim Burton's. But again, it's like for me, that's kind of like the greatest of all time.
Tim Burton's?
No, Steven.
Oh, Steven
Spielberg. Tim Burton, obviously, just I like the concept.
The
style of it.
Very unique to that no one can really.
Oh yeah. So, but then again, it's like if you really see mine and his, it's not. There's no real big comparison to that, other than the idea, the fact that it's like. It's still something dark, but it's very beautifully portrayed.
Right.
So I like that essence, especially like his Batman. Tim Burton Batman one that he did with the penguin.
Right. I thought like that's beautiful.
Yeah,
like
that was.
Danny DeVito as the penguin.
When I saw that when I was a kid, it like shocked me in a way where
it's definitely one of its own. You can't really see that happening again with any other director.
Exactly.
Try to copy.
Exactly. And I think that's like it influenced me without me knowing.
Yeah.
But if now day and age, if you ask me like what influences me, for like, let's say my visual work right now, like even for this one piece,
Right.
it's I don't get influences or I don't get inspiration from visual pieces.
Okay.
I get it a lot from paintings. I get it a lot.
And you base it on your art, like your filming?
Yes.
And post editing?
Yeah. So for me,
okay, interesting.
paintings, but not even that. Just certain, like, I guess certain lores, right? Certain stories, like books, for example. That really inspires me visually, because I don't. When I watch something visual, I don't think about me is I don't really take that as an inspiration. Like it just doesn't. I guess it's like we call that 직업병. So for example, I don't know what's that in English? When everything is affected by your work. So for example, like I can't go into a theater and watch a movie for what it is. Hence, I can't enjoy it.
Interesting. Okay.
Because the minute I start watching, which is why I don't like going to theaters a lot.
Okay.
Because the minute I start watching something, I start deciphering it.
Okay, I get you.
You know what I mean,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like I start analyzing it. Not because like I want to. My brain just ticks like.
No. There's a lot of people that's in film that
I
can't
bet.
watch things.
Exactly.
They overanalyze it.
Exactly.
Why is everybody loving this?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially like because when I see a scene and it's like, oh, like that's powerful, but I try to understand why it's powerful, and then it just starts. Or obviously I see something like, man, they could have just put something over there. They could have cut that like.
Right. You start editing it or like directing it in your own way, which happens to a lot of creatives. That are in the film.
I bet. I mean, so yeah, that's it.
It's quite interesting. I'm like in the middle. I could like decipher it, but also I could not. It's not to be mean. Like I could dumb myself down, which is like I could go like I could enjoy something that's for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's really good.
You know what I'm saying? Like. I don't want to give a good
interesting.
example, but like of a movie, but
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I've noticed that about myself. I'm like, I can enjoy the simple things and the complex things. I don't know which one I want better. Sometimes I just want to relax my brain and just enjoy the visual. But sometimes I just want that test my mind.
That's really interesting that you say that. You know the reason why I push my limits in my film.
Right.
Is because I want to make something later in the future. Like one of my goals is I want to make something later in the future that is just so immensely gravitating that even for someone like me, because I know there's like a billion people like that, even for someone like me, if that person was to watch it, just breaks the whole barrier of putting up a certain stigma to how they see it.
Right. Okay.
Because I want to make something so powerful that it breaks that.
No.
Because I'm like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of, I guess, one of my goals. I know like none of my stuff does that now, but I want.
I mean, like in the long run.
In the long run, maybe it's a movie. I don't know.
Yeah. To be honest, I could see you going that path.
I'll probably kill myself doing it though.
No, it's just a lot of work, You probably will have a bigger team.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see. How many new characters will be introduced that we haven't seen? You don't have to be specifics, just.
I think. Well, for part 2 or just in general.
In general.
Definitely a lot more. Like people gotta understand, Mito is a trilogy series. I'm trying to dead it at the trilogy, but the whole idea, like for me, characterization, creating certain stories around a certain character, a certain persona, it's always going to be in me. It's always going to be something that, as long as my artistry keeps living on, that's always going to be something. I'm always going to have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And with that story comes obviously a character. And I want to make multiple characters. Obviously relatable. If it's not relatable, but just something with that. I just want to bring something more.
Okay. Yeah, understandable. Is there a specific meaning in the whistling throughout the album? I noticed in a few songs, I think.
So I kind of gave it away when the voices came into my head. So for me, right, when I go into certain manic episodes, I hear hear things like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being whistles.
Okay.
Like I hear that a lot in my head.
Interesting.
So Beautiful was that one song where it was my first attempt to make a song while I was in my manic downs.
I see.
And that was the first time that I was like, you know, you have like this really bossa nova guitar riff, but over it, the whistling was more powerful. Like that whistle was just like constantly in my head. So I was like, but the thing is, what's funny is I can't whistle. So
it's like a.
So I was like, you know how many attempts I was like.
You can't. I can't whistle too.
But then I do hear, like, I always hear that, and it's yeah, it's not but
it's not like yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's kind of the behind of it,
Here's another Naomi. It's from her mom.
I know it means mom.
What was one vital thing you needed to understand/learn to start making your own music with your own creative direction and not taking directions from others?
I think it's a very good question.
Yeah, very good question.
I think more importantly, it was, first of all, it's to understand where I'm at mentally with this project. I think by understanding that, what I mean is, you gotta understand it's a relationship that you're trying to develop with whatever you're doing, because at the same time, like this, whatever you decide to do, you are giving yourself into it. Meaning you have to have a good understanding about this relationship then of what you're giving yourself into. If you don't know, and if you're not okay with that at the end of the day, if you're not, if you're very conflicted with putting yourself out there because of how vulnerable it is, then yes, it might not last very long. Because again, here's the thing: like, what do people like? Why do people continue doing things that they love doing? It's because they feel like they have a part of it, a part of themselves in that, right? Yeah. And as long as they understand that, as long as they think that's sustainable, like for example, like if someone started doing something but they realized they were good at it, like just simply put, it's because they see themselves in the long run being good. It makes them feel good, but it's technically what it is you see yourself being a part of it. Okay. Meaning you're okay with it. You've acknowledged it. You've agreed to it. Right. And that's a relationship that I'm trying to implicate, because without that, you won't be able to sustain it, and you won't be able to continue something. You're gonna drop it the next day as soon as you lose interest. The reason why people lose interest, I think, from something that they really started loving is because they feel like they're losing a lot of what it meant to them, like themselves, right? So how do you keep that up? Like, how do you not lose that then? Well, I think again, it's understanding that development of the relationship, and this really goes back to once you start comparing, and I think it's the question that this person was asking was, without giving any notion to anything else, not abiding by certain things. Yeah. Once you start comparing yourself to certain people that are doing things in your lane, and you kind of put a higher seat of power to that person because of their achievements. Yeah. Then obviously you're going to start devaluing yourself. Right. Because one, obviously comparison, it's looking at the road ahead. And I've said this a few times, but don't focus too ahead. Right. I feel like once you focus too ahead, it's going to look intimidating to anyone. It's going to make anyone quit, right?
Oh, but they did this and yeah, of course.
If you just look down and you look at the first stepping stone and you just focus on that, really what really matters, it's not as intimidating. It's just kind of focusing on what you want to do. It's really not giving an F. Yeah. Learning not to give a fuck. Yeah. It's a law. Yeah, right? It's a law of the universe. Right. Because we're in a society already that it's like you have to meet certain standards, there's certain like stigmas and people that are so judgmental, and it's just we live in a society that's already like that. So the only way to really break free out of that is really to build a relationship with yourself, with what you're doing. Once you establish that, you find self-worth, self-value, and you'll start learning not to give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
Just focus on what's in front of you. I know it's cliche as that
It is
sounds.
cliche, but it is what it is.
Reason why it's cliche is because, like, there's a reason why it's cliche, right?
I feel like the hardest thing are the most simplest things.
It is. It always is. And
you just gotta figure it out on your own.
I
learned that too.
Always. Yeah. There it is. Yeah.
Like even recently, I started comparing myself to things. I was like, nah, stand in my own.
Yeah. You are your own beast.
Just do my own thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. How about this? How did DPR come to be?
It's interesting.
I don't even know if I know that.
Well, DPR really started off with, well, in the beginning it was me and live, right?
Okay.
And it was just really more of a continuation of what me and him set out to do.
Okay.
Like it was just like a movement thing. But at the time, it's like there was really no solid foundation of where this was going. It was just like literally just a bunch of friends. I had just gotten out of C Clown. And I wanted to do something, like I had all this pent up creativity, frustration.
Right.
Being in the idol world, obviously, you know, you don't really get to say. Well, I don't know nowadays, but back then anyway.
It's a little bit more lenient, I think. But
Yeah, well, I mean, that was pretty critical for me, yeah. So I wanted to channel that into something, and obviously videography was something that I thought was, you know, something that I should definitely want. Yeah, and that came, you know, that went back to the last question. It was like, what was in front of me? I just kind of wanted to focus on that. I didn't care if I was good or not. I just wanted to do it, you know. One thing led to another, you know, I met all these people on the way. Scott being one of the crucial parts to it. He came in. I had the name DPR, which is this name, Deep Pink Reel, by the way. It stands for Director Pink Reel.
Okay.
Don't ask why. It was like the OG name, but I remember like Scott was like, "What's the name?" And I was like DPR, and he's like, "What's it stand for?" And I showed him, and it's like, "Nah, this is not gonna work." So he came in, rebranded it to what we know now, Dream Perfect Regime, and it really did start off like that. So, you know, I have this thing. I gravitate people, good or bad. But at the end of the day, it filtered out the bad ones, and we came now into the group that we are now. Yeah, and it just kind of really
just kept on building.
Yeah, excel from there. Yeah.
Okay. Coming from past idol experiences to now self-made artist and director, what was on your mind during those times when transitioning from idol life to what is DPR now? Just finding out your true colors as not only an artist but yourself. Because idol life has its story. Very specific.
I like it. I was going through some crazy manic episodes, obviously during that period of time.
Jesus.
I didn't. For me, like transitioning wasn't the issue. For me, it was trying to get rid of. Like at that time, I was trying to get rid of my past. I was trying to get away from that world, just because of like the shit that I had to go through. But I mean, that's another story. But the thing is, because of that, it was, I think for me, it was just more of like an SOS thing for me to do what I wanted to do. It was a crazy idea to me that like I had to be in fear of being able to do what I love doing.
Interesting.
So I think at that period of time, it was a lot of fear because, and I think it was just the right amount of fear that propelled me to just not give a fuck and just do what I wanted to do, because I think I was so starved from it. You know, at some extent, I think that is somewhat of a privilege, because for me, due to that, it created like this beast inside me where I was so starved from not being able to do what I wanted to do creatively, like expression-wise, that I ended up just like really just gonna go in front on tunnel vision. But mentally, man, that was like one of the craziest times, because I remember like when we disbanded, right? a lot of the fans were pointing fingers at me, saying I was the cause of it. And man, I remember the day that we disbanded, being the leader, right? I was the only one vocal about it, you know.
Right.
Like I wanted to, ironically, I wanted to be vocal, so I wanted to be very transparent with what was going on because no one else is going to do that. Like our company wasn't going to do that. Our members weren't going to do that.
Do it.
So I had to do it, and obviously they needed something to point the finger at, and me being that, yeah. And then I remember that time, like Instagram, like I was, you know, I had like 30,000 people just unfollow me.
Damn.
And I don't know, like just seeing that was like, I think at that time I felt really, I guess hurt. Like, but then I didn't know how to. At the same time, I didn't want to like vocalize that, you know. And I remember like the post I made. I think it was like, "Time will tell" or something like that, like the reality of the truth. But it never really did. So, so I was like, "Fuck my life." No, but I got through it, and you know, obviously, I now have the full support of the people that supporting me now. So I mean, I'm cool.
Living in it now, bro. Any artists you would like to collab with in the future, if possible?
Man, I was gonna say Daft Punk, but I mean,
That'd be fire, actually.
Right, it's not. Honestly, I don't know. I do want to go into. I do want to explore collaborations with like heavy metal bands. I just think that'll be pretty interesting.
Is that part 3? Just all.
Oh my goodness. It's meant to be peaceful, not chaotic. It's peaceful for me,
it's
but
peaceful and chaos.
But no. Honestly, yeah. I'm just kind of. For me, right, I think the collaborations that I really want to do is like different outlets. Like I want to really collaborate with certain like artists, like painters. Yeah, like you realize like in my past project, I have a painting for every start of my music video.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to do something. Yeah, I wanted to do something where, even like with this stuff, right? I want to collaborate in that world. You know, bring something different.
Right.
You know, not make it into like a NFT.
No. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It'll be quite interesting. Is there what was the first ever project you edited or filmed that you felt proud of?
The very first one of ever. That's a good question too,
That's
man.
just for me only.
No, that's a very good.
Because I was like, when you were talking about your editing and the other one, I was like, huh.
The very first one, I was like, oh shit, right?
Yeah. You're like, yeah, this is fire.
I think Bobby's and Minos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were fire.
Just because of how much I really put into that. The thing is, that was my first ever big gig.
Yeah.
Like I was prior to that, right? Yeah. I just won Show Me Money. Yeah, and it was his first debut album. And for me, like prior to that, I was constantly being shut down by all these other companies. You know, it's funny. I had my first ever big project was actually meant to be 17's music video.
I can see that.
Yeah, so I remember I was working, but for whatever reason, it didn't work because of certain things. I was tied on the contract. But I mean, you know, obviously, YG
reached out agreed.
Yeah, he reached out because he saw all of my concert videos in freestyle. Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't know, that was crazy. Like that was like another viral thing, but that was anyway. Like that, because of that, it you know, and I remember it was like the first big project that I had to work on.
That's crazy.
What was difficult about that? It was prior to that, I managed lighting with just the help of friends. Like I did it myself, right? A lot of the times, holding the camera. But obviously, you know, when you go into these big leagues, you need big production, like an actual gaffer team, like a DP team, like a lighting camera team, and that just brings on a whole nother like level of responsibility, control. One which I had no experience of.
Yeah.
I'm good at knowing how to do things myself.
Yeah.
But that time it was the first time I ever had to really be a director on set, and I've never done that, you know. So, man, I remember like it was like a whole story of trying to get those people first of all.
Right. And then trying to execute.
Man, yeah. I had to ask favors. Man, I remember they were looking mad down at me, just because like hierarchy was a big thing.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And you know, I was like 25. Like,
and like this young kid that's
yeah,
trying to
like, is this guy a director?
do
Like,
better
what?
than you?
Yeah, and all the staff were like about 30, 40-year-olds, you know, been in the game for about 20 years. But, you know, and then I was just like, man, if I could just pull this off though. Like, if I could pull this off. And at the time, it was only Bobby's. But man, if I could pull this off, like, fuck, this would be phenomenal. Like, this would really put DPR out there. Yeah. You know, and man, it was like, everyone, like, when I tell you the whole world was against me, and me as in like DPR, the whole world was against us. Like, it was like,
I kind of felt that a little bit too.
Right? I mean,
yeah, that's why I pushed you. I was like, I see the vision, and I was like, what you do with live, and then when I found out you did body and hold up, I was like,
well, see, that was the thing. We weren't meant to do body, and we were just given hold up, and then we took about 2 months.
Hold up was first, then body. Okay.
We took 2 months to prepare that, and you can imagine the 2 months I was like
stressing.
Yeah, because I was trying to do something with an idol that at that time wasn't, I guess,
a body.
Yeah, it wasn't your typical rollout. Like, you know, like at that time, like solo artists, especially with an idol, a lot of portraits, a lot of your face coming out, a lot of like not very experimental type of stuff, right? But for me, it's like I wanted to do something. I wanted to make it look cool. But
yeah, it was cool as hell.
I wanted the video to be cool too. You know, I didn't want to have that typical, like very overly saturated rollout. I wanted to have like a little bit of grittiness to it.
It was a good balance for sure. I remember there's a lot of shock moments too with like the post-production editing, like when he went into like that video game kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
The water scene too was fire.
Goodness. Yeah. Oh, you remember all that?
Yeah, I remember. It's one of my faves. Yeah.
Nice.
Body. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, sorry. Hold up.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. At that time, it was for us anyway. It was meant to be something that was a bit revolutionary, I guess, in our time. Obviously not the video, but like just how we went about the whole concept of an idol doing that. You know, so I think that's why we just kind of took it the way that we wanted to do it, really. But man, we the amount of planning and everything that went into that, and during the shoot of Barbie, the YG manager came up to us and he was like, "Can you do Minos as well?" Because like apparently what they were seeing, they really liked it.
Yeah.
And that scene, remember when he smacks and the powder goes and the lights come back. Like I remember that scene when it looked good in my head, but I didn't really know what that looked like initially. But I remember when that happened, that's when that was the moment I got validation from the art team, the industry. Because the minute they saw that, they're like, okay, we trust this guy.
Yeah, no, kind of went through my same kind of path, especially with the DPR little dog thing.
Oh, yeah, right.
It got more respect in the industry, like, of people want to work with me.
No, I bet.
And I was like, fine, because everybody, like I said in the beginning, everybody was like, oh, he just does reaction. I'm like, no, I could do more. No. But they don't give me a chance until you guys did it, and I'm like, see, this is what I can do.
Well, obviously.
And now I'm doing other things now.
Obviously, you killed it. No, it's not thanks.
No, it was a passion project.
It was well deserved.
I didn't get paid for. I put all my money. Not all my money.
No, but honestly, it was well deserved. And
thank you.
You're obviously
no, but I'm just
very
saying,
talented.
like, it's kind of similar in a way.
Oh yeah, no, I bet.
Like just like that validation.
Oh yeah, I bet.
From a
different party.
Yeah. Like we're all in the same kind of boat, but like.
Oh yeah, of course. And I feel like time will tell. Like it's like you cannot deny quality. I think that's something it's one rule I've always learned doing this. If you have something to back up for it, like you can be as cocky as you want. I'm not saying you should be cocky, but I'm saying.
Oh no, I agree.
In general, like if you want to go that route, at least if you have something to back up for it.
Exactly, I agree.
It's like
in a lot of things, whether it be sports, singing, like you can be cocky as hell, but if you can back it up, respect.
Yes, respect.
I can't be mad at you.
Exactly.
There's no reason to be mad.
Exactly.
Because you're doing things that no one can.
Yes, that's technically. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do one more.
Sure.
What are the stories behind your tattoos?
A lot. Oh my goodness.
I know, I bet, because that's usually what tattoos are for sometimes.
I get tattoos when there's like a moment in my life where I know I'm transitioning.
Oh, cool.
Or changing.
Cool.
So every moment,
Interesting.
when I look at the tattoo, it takes me to that very moment, that very place, in time, and I remember how I felt.
Okay.
So every time.
That's nice though.
So when I go manic, right, for example, the extremes. I must have like an extreme. When I go extremely high or extremely low, when I know I've hit that peak, that's when I get a tattoo.
Interesting.
And I get it based on just how I am in that moment. You know, that's why it's so random.
Do you have a favorite one? Or like the one that's important to you?
One that's really important.
You don't have to explain it, just which one.
It's this one. It's Aphrodite. It's very hard to see. It's my mom. It's the image of my mom. Like, so my mom has, for me, it's like a goddess, right? But that's why I've always kind of, as a joke, we always feel like, you know, me and my mom always joked about, but I kind of got it, in the hopes that maybe like she won't say anything that I got a tattoo, like she'll, but no. In all seriousness, that's kind of
that's nice.
Yeah, it's like my mom. So obviously that means the most.
What's your first one?
My first one's on my chest, right here.
Awesome.
So be there, be down, be you, and
fucking huge tattoo for
bro,
the first one.
I did again, which is why it's my first, because I had no idea going in. I remember I was like,
oh my god, that reminds me of Kenny. He got like his whole chest.
Bro, I saw that.
And whole like arm. One session, 8 hours.
I
was like, you're dumb.
He's crazy.
That should be a 3-day tattoo.
He is crazy.
Hey, shout out to you.
Yeah, but I mean that too, and obviously I got a tattoo of my like a camera here.
Okay.
It's hard to shoot, but it's done by Nadi, and I want to make like a special shout out to her actually, because she is the one that actually came up with the font of Mito, what we know today. So this whole Mito thing, Nadi. Yeah. So she came up with like this whole concept of the lettering being the way it is. Yeah, she's really the mastermind behind that, and she's such a humble and kind person. I actually have a tattoo that I'm meant to finish. Yeah. I never got around the time to finish it. So I definitely have to go back to it, and I have to, yeah, like
on the ribs.
Yeah, bro. I was like.
Hey man, if I need some tattoo artists too, I need to try that. I'm trying to just get inked up, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, at least one arm just fully inked up.
Ooh, I think you're pretty sexy.
Yeah, I like it.
I think
and if I'm ever nearing the billionaire spectrum, then I'll get neck tattoos.
Ooh. Oh yeah, because at that point it's like fuck it. Yeah.
Or at least let's do like 100 million. That's 10 million. And then I'll get neck tattoos. That's where I'm comfortable.
You know what? Honestly, I think you're good.
Because I was like, if I don't know, I could just do it now, but
yeah, you look sexy.
Yeah. Addicted. It's enough about tattoos. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, let's just
sounds really fun.
End it there. It's a good conversation. Like I said, I always like to do these type of interviews where I just conversate instead of just an interview.
I mean, I had absolutely fun. It really just felt like we were talking.
Yeah.
You know? Honestly, it always does though.
yeah, I mean,
like, it's
but
just,
I just like having a conversation.
I love it. Yeah.
Again, go check out the music video. Link in the description. Stream Spotify, Apple Music, wherever else. Is there anywhere else?
Streams. Spotify, Apple.
Nowhere else, right?
Yeah, I mean Melon in Korea.
Melon. Physical album if you want.
Yeah, like physical album. You know.
Actually, there was another question. It's like, would there ever be a DPR vinyl?
Yes, of course.
Damn. All right.
Yeah. Of course, that's one of my dreams.
That's fire. Would be designed. So I could hang it and it'd be
absolutely, man.
Of course, it's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
There you go. There you have it.
I want that.
Who do you actually? I know I keep on asking, but who do you actually? What name do you relate to more? I mean, it depends on how you were introduced to them at that time.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to many people that like probably even know you. They like, oh, Rome or
Christian.
Christian.
Yeah. All at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a different name for a different period of my life. Kind of again the whole character thing. I know I'm fucking crazy, but when I say I'm about that life, I'm about that life.
He's that guy.
But no, I have a different name for a different time of my life.
Okay, fine.
Because you're not the same person you were 10 years ago.
Yeah, you grow. Yeah.
Exactly. I like to give that a persona. That's really what it is.
Like this era.
So
what is this era exactly?
Ian. It's an Ian era. And maybe next time it's gonna be like Tommy and us.
Hell no.
No, but
it has to play on words.
Paul. No, I was kidding. So.
Okay, that makes. I was just very curious because you know you have many names. I have many names too. People's like, do you say Dre or JRE? And I was like, either or, it doesn't matter.
And you know, like now that you bring it up, actually, what's interesting is like so the people that know me during that time will call me that name.
Right, exactly.
Because it's like that. So yeah, I mean that does get confusing later because I have a lot of primary school friends who are like Barum.
Yeah.
And then you know my high school friends are like Barum, and then you know and then someone behind me like. Wrong. Christian. You know?
Yeah, it just builds up. Same thing with me. I mean, my high school friends used to call like my government name, which is Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah. And then over time, I don't know how Dre got implemented. Jeremy's like very wholesome. I like a period of time. When I think of Jeremy, I think of a young Asian like kid.
Oh wow.
Because it's like with my parents and just how I grew.
Interesting.
And
when did it become Dre?
Like junior, senior year of high school.
Do you know how? Like, do you know something?
Sports.
Oh.
Sports. It's like they saw my initials. They said Dre. You know.
Wow. And you know, I think that's very cool too.
Yeah, I was blessed, and then even my parents started saying it, so I got used to and accustomed to it. So, and sometimes I actually don't like when people say Jeremy. I know I say that in chat because only person I felt like is either close friends, my girlfriend, or my parents. Like I said.
Okay.
Because it's like an attachment.
Yeah, so it means a little.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like a barrier. Like I'm close to you if you call me Jeremy.
Okay, cool.
You know.
Yeah.
But even though Dre, everybody says Dre either way.
Yeah. Dre. Yeah, I mean that's a cool name too.
Yeah, it is.
I like it.
I love
especially
it
the way it's spelled too.
Yeah.
Like
I love saying like, oh, I'm Dre. It's like, oh, nice to meet you.
You know.
But yeah, anyways, enough talking. Let's end this. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Support Ian in his projects.
Support Ray.
Yeah. DPR, let's go.
Thank you.
Maybe some more footage when you're in LA for tour, maybe.
You're definitely coming. Yeah.
Definitely coming through. See if we can bring Kenny too.
Oh yeah, please.
I mean, I've been talking. It's all good. We're definitely gonna have content.
Please.
But yeah, till next time, everybody. Peace. Well, there you have it. All 3 parts. You watched it. You finally made it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of video. It is a very long content type of video. It's not like usual 10 minutes. This is like 30 to an hour each. I feel like we learned a lot. I mean, me, you, and Christian, we all learned about each other. And hopefully you did learn a little bit more about the behind the scenes, what's inside Mr. Christian Yu's mind. I feel like everybody's mind is quite interesting and they have stories. Thank you again to Christian Yu and the DPR team for allowing me to do this. My name is JRE. This is the new channel, JREDAY. And hopefully you get to see more content like this on this channel as well. Subscribe, like this video, and share it. Share it with the world. It's your boy Dre. See you guys till next time. Bye.